Hey everyone, it's Erin with Hail Varsity. I'm joined by Jacob, also of Hail Varsity. I know it's not Greg. People might be used to Greg, but Greg is working, so here we are.
Yeah, I'm not working, so she just moved me into this.
I just figured Jacob also did have a chance to listen to pretty much everyone today, so I thought you'd be a really good person to talk to. All we typically do with these videos is recap what we heard from practice, post-practice I should say, and today was Scott Frost, Brian Applewhite, Donovan Raiola, two offensive linemen, and Yance.
Correct.
Cool, got it. I was trying to run about like 50 different places at once, so I'm just glad that I saw what was going on. The big news of the day, sort of injuries. Frost did not want to discuss them, but let's start there, and then also departures from the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, there have been a lot of rumors around there, but Scott Frost was not yet ready to speak on any of them. There are a lot of players out, but he said he's going to wait to discuss any long-term injuries. So no clarity on that front, but we did hear today from Frost that Xavier Betts is no longer a part of the team, and that was about the extent of the update.
No, there's no further information. He was asked, and you can watch the video as well if you're curious about the sequence of questions. He was asked about further information. When will we know what was the specifics? And he continued to say he's not on the team, and that's pretty much all it is right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say if he'll return. That was it. Now, with the injuries too, while he isn't ready to comment on the specifics of them or any like time frame, any of that, we do know it's pretty much a lot of tight ends.
Yeah, I think maybe James Carney and AJ Rollins might be the only scholarship tight ends actually practicing right now. And even that, we're assuming that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure AJ Rollins is practicing. I saw a picture of him in practice gear the other day. But beyond that, yeah, they're in a rough spot right now at the tight end position.
And we do know about Fedoni because Fedoni himself posted about it. So this isn't really necessarily a secret to anyone. He shared just a little bit on his Instagram. Was it over the weekend? Just about how he'll be back stronger, but no other specifics beyond that. But he did essentially confirm his own injury at this point, and then
Travis Vokalek's been out and will be out for the spring. We saw Chris Hickman, left arm is in a sling, so he's out as well. So yeah, there are not a lot of healthy bodies in that room right now. But
and we need to hear from Sean Beckton at some point, and we will, I'm sure, before the spring game. But besides that, the one theme that I have continued to take through this spring practice so far is competition. We hear that just about everywhere. Listening to Brian Applewhite specifically talk about the running back room, he said he really likes his room, but he's pretty set on a number of 5. He really wants to hone in on 5 running backs.
Yeah, he wants to get to 5 because injuries and whatever may happen during the game. Somebody gets sore, gets banged up a little bit. Another guy can shoulder the load and make sure that you don't run a guy into the ground. So 5 is the goal that he set for guys that he'd feel comfortable playing in any game. Right now, he's never happy with what he has in his room. He's always looking for more, but at the same time, the guys are doing a good job. That's just kind of the nature of a coach. You're always looking to get better. So
and don't confuse not being happy with not liking them.
Correct.
He does really like the room. He's just always looking
never
for
satisfied.
more. Yes.
That's the wording.
Now, Yance did talk about how one thing that he has really improved on is his own just general stamina, his own athletic ability. He was saying in the past he would get done with the play and he would walk to the next thing. He is now running. Applewhite backed that up and said he couldn't even go 2 plays in a row when they first started spring ball, and now Yant is making improvements. I mean, just in a physical sense, Yant has talked about just the improvements he's made. He's learning how to eat at the right times, how to eat better. He spent time over spring break just running. So it sounds like he's putting in the work to at least the physical aspect of it, but it is making a difference on his confidence and the mental aspect of his game as well. And
it's a requirement at this point because Brian Applewhite is having those guys finish every single run through the end zone. Mm-hmm. At the end of every rep, whether they get touched or not, they're running it through. And so you have to be in good shape to be able to do that consistently throughout, especially because they are short a few bodies at that running back room. So it's not like you're going to get a lot of time off between reps. So that was an important part. And Noelle also mentioned like the difference that he's seen in Jacques Etienne, and just the fitness and the technique improvement, how much stronger he is now. And he said the fact that those guys are finishing every single play is kind of like, all right, yeah, these guys are serious, and kind of fires them up even more to go block for those guys.
You brought up the offensive line with Nori, so let's end there. Again, competition being the theme of everything. No one really wants to give too much away about who is playing at what spot or who might actually slot into a certain spot on the offensive line. It sounds like everyone is trying to test the waters just about everywhere. At least that's what it sounded like once again for me today.
Noelle is at left guard, though. He confirmed that's the only spot he's working at, so
that's
one.
Now he gets moved to his next practice.
Yeah, that's one piece of the puzzle for now, but everywhere else it seems like they're up for grabs, especially with the injuries. But the one kind of main takeaway, and it's the consistent theme, is how much he enjoys the new technique and the new style of play where guys are coming off the ball right away. They're firing. He said basically you can see it in practice that as soon as the whistle blows, as soon as the snap goes, like there's a new line of scrimmage. They're reestablishing that line of scrimmage. Like a guy like Jacques Etienne could trip himself up and still get 4 yards because he's fallen because they've cleared the defensive line that far. So that seems to be kind of the biggest change for that position compared to previously, is just that they're firing off the ball right away, and Noelle at least really likes that style.
And when it comes to quarterbacks, we obviously did not hear from any quarterbacks today, but just a little follow up on this. We still ask almost every position group about taking snaps from different quarterbacks, and Yant pretty much said Casey Thompson is a really good leader. He's a great leader. He leads that room well, but you don't get a whole lot out of all of them because at this point they are still rotating through a lot of quarterbacks where they show up, and you might get this quarterback this day, you might get this quarterback that day. So we'll see. With all of that said, though, they do have another scrimmage on Saturday that was confirmed by Applewhite. It will be the second scrimmage of spring, so they're hoping to get into the stadium if the weather permits. We're just about done with spring ball. April 9th will be here before we know it, so they're trying to get into the stadium because once spring ball is done, they're taking the turf and they're replacing it, so access to the stadium will be much more limited at that point for a little while. So again, scrimmage on Saturday. I'm sure we'll hear more coming out of that. We always do. And we'll let you know what we hear next week once we talk to coaches.
And it'll probably be Greg next time.
No, it's now Jacob forever, unless all the comments. No, don't leave mean comments. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to swap me for Greg so he can be. Look, see, I have now tested the comment section. This is my mistake. Please be nice. It is a dreary day. It has been snowing. Just be nice to us, please. But we do appreciate you, as always, for being here, for watching, for joining us. We will have way more at hailvarsity.com, so head over there. Practice reports, additional updates. There's also baseball practice coming up. And on top of that, all of the videos here on Hail Varsity's YouTube channel. So make sure you like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Thank you, as always. Thank you, Jacob, for pinch hitting.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully I didn't strike out.